At the beginning of the story, we see the Piston Cup racing ground, where the final race of the Motor Speedway of the South Championship is about to begin. Whoever wins this race will not only take the season title, but also the legendary Piston Cup itself. And that's when we meet our hero, Lightning McQueen, a modern, fast, and fearless rookie racer. The race begins. McQueen speeds ahead, leaving most of the cars behind in a flash. But leading the track is the legendary racer, the King, a Dinoco-sponsored veteran who has won countless races in his career. However, this race is special because it's the King's final race before retirement. Right behind him is Chick Hicks, a hot-headed racer who's always dreamed of defeating the King. When McQueen starts overtaking Chick, Chick deliberately bumps into him, sending McQueen off balance and off track. He even crashes into another car, just to make sure McQueen can't recover. But McQueen manages to dodge through the chaos, gets back on the track safely, and the crowd goes wild. Now McQueen pushes harder than ever. He doesn't stop at the pit, not for a single second. He skips the tire change, only refuels, and continues racing at full throttle. It's the final lap. McQueen is in the lead. Everyone believes victory is his, but suddenly, boom, his rear tire bursts. Seeing this, Chick and the King close in fast. McQueen, struggling with his shredded tire, drags himself toward the finish line, and just as he's about to cross, Chick and the King reach the line too. It's a three-way tie. The results aren't announced yet, but McQueen believes he's won and celebrates. Reporters surround him asking, "Why didn't you change your tires?" McQueen smirks and says, "I just wanted to give the fans a little more excitement. I don't need a team. I'm a one-man show." His pit crew, upset and disrespected, decides to quit on the spot, but McQueen doesn't care. Then, the King approaches him and says, "You've got real talent, kid. More in one lug nut than most cars have in their whole body. But you're foolish if you think you can do this alone. Racing's not a one-man show. Get yourself a good crew and a great team." McQueen ignores the advice, dreaming only of the shiny blue Dinoco sponsorship. Soon, the officials announce the result. The race is a tie. McQueen is disappointed, and Chick mocks him publicly. Then comes the big announcement. In 1 week, there will be a tiebreaker race in California. Chick taunts him again. Whoever gets to California first will win Dinoco's deal. Angry and determined, McQueen tells his truck, "Mac, let's hit the road now." Mac replies, "First, you need to meet your sponsors." McQueen groans. He hates his current sponsors, the Rustys brothers, Dusty and Rusty, but he has no choice. After greeting them half-heartedly, McQueen and Mac finally hit the road toward California. They drive all day. By night, Mac's exhausted and asks for a break, but McQueen insists, "No stops tonight. We're driving straight through. I have to be the first one to reach California." So Mac keeps driving through the night. Soon both start feeling sleepy. Then suddenly, a group of disco cars speeds by, blasting loud music that lulls Mac into deep sleep. As Mac dozes off, McQueen's tire rolls, the trailer door opens, and McQueen falls out, tumbling onto the dark highway. Mac doesn't even notice and keeps driving off into the distance. When Lightning McQueen finally wakes up, he's seconds away from getting crushed under a huge truck, but narrowly escapes just in time. Confused and scared, he looks around, calling out for Mac, but every truck on the highway looks exactly like him. He can't tell which one's real. Then suddenly, he spots a truck that looks like Mac taking an exit onto another road. McQueen races after it with everything he's got, but when he finally catches up, he realizes that's not Mac at all. Panic sets in. He's completely lost. Trying to get back onto the main highway, McQueen speeds down a dark stretch of Route 66. But a local sheriff, an old police car named Sheriff, spots him and gives chase. McQueen, thinking the sheriff is shooting at him because of the loud popping noises from the sheriff's old engine, starts running even faster. He doesn't notice the wires ahead and slams straight into a big statue in the middle of town. The statue topples, dragging McQueen along with it, tearing up the entire road in Radiator Springs. Before he can escape again, he crashes into a light pole and gets caught. Meanwhile, back in California, reporters and race officials realize Lightning McQueen is missing. Every news channel flashes the headline, "Lightning McQueen lost on the road." Fans everywhere start demanding a search for their favorite racer. Cut back to McQueen. He wakes up inside a tiny jail cell in a dusty old town. Standing in front of him is a rusty tow truck with a big grin. "Howdy, name's Mater," he says. "And you're in Radiator Springs." McQueen groans, "I need to get to California, fast." But before he can argue more, the sheriff arrives and takes him to the Radiator Springs courthouse. Inside, the judge, Doc Hudson, takes one look at McQueen and says, "You're a race car? Then get out of here right now." But before McQueen can leave, a sleek blue Porsche named Sally drives in. She's the town's attorney, and she disagrees. "You can't just let him go," she argues. "He destroyed our main road. Whoever broke it should fix it." Doc sighs. "I've seen his kind before. They never stick around." But Sally stands her ground. "If that road doesn't get fixed, no one will ever come back to this town." The townsfolk agree, and Doc has no choice but to change his mind. He looks at McQueen and says, "You'll fix the road, using Bessie." McQueen turns around and sees Bessie, a massive massive, greasy road paving machine. Ugh, seriously? He groans. How long is this gonna take? Doc replies calmly. If you do it right, maybe 5 days. Then Doc tells Mater to hook McQueen up to Bessie. But the moment Mater unlocks McQueen's parking boot, McQueen takes off like a rocket. Mater gasps, realizing he should have hooked McQueen before setting him free. Now free, McQueen feels unstoppable. He speeds down the open road toward California, laughing with excitement, until suddenly his engine sputters out. He's out of fuel. Doc smirks, because he secretly drained McQueen's gas tank earlier. So McQueen's dragged back to town and hooked up to Bessie once again. Defeated, he starts paving the road. He grumbles, "I wasn't built for this. I'm a famous race car." While he's working, two locals, Luigi and Guido, come over from their tire shop. Luigi asks eagerly, "Do you know a Ferrari?" McQueen shrugs. "Yeah, I know him. He races the European circuit. I race in the Piston Cup." Hearing that, Luigi and Guido turn away disappointed, because they're die-hard Ferrari fans. Later, McQueen spots two tourists arriving in town. All the locals rush out, excited. It's been ages since anyone visited Radiator Springs. They all start promoting their services: Flo's Cafe, Ramon's paint shop, Luigi's tires, but the tourists just say they're lost and quickly drive away. Watching them go, McQueen proudly says, "I'm Lightning McQueen, the famous racer. Call my team, they'll come rescue me." But the tourists just look at his dirty, beat-up state and laugh it off. They don't believe a word he says and leave him behind. McQueen turns on the radio and hears breaking news. He's officially missing, and Chick Hicks has already reached California. Hearing that, McQueen panics. He imagines Chick winning the race, taking the Dinoco sponsorship, and stealing everything he's ever dreamed of. Frustrated, McQueen yells, "If I finish this road, can I leave?" Mater nods. That's what the judge said. So McQueen races back to work, full throttle. But in his hurry, he lays down the worst road ever made. When Mater drives on it, his whole body shakes like he's in an earthquake. Sally storms over, furious. "What do you think you're doing? We asked you to fix the road, not destroy it." McQueen snaps back. "The doc said to finish the job and get out, so that's what I did." Just then, Doc Hudson himself arrives. He glares at McQueen and says sternly, "I sentenced you to repair the road, not ruin it. Now tear it up and do it again." McQueen growls, "I'm not a bulldozer, I'm a race car." Doc smirks. "Oh really? Then how about a little race? You and me." McQueen laughs. "You're kidding, right?" But Doc's dead serious. "If you win, I'll fix the road myself, but if I win, you finish it properly." McQueen likes the deal. They head to a small dirt track outside town. Sheriff announces, "1 lap, that's all." The race begins. McQueen blasts off, leaving Doc in the dust. Doc starts a few seconds later, bringing Mater along with him. "You might be needed," he says with a grin. McQueen reaches the first sharp turn, tries to drift through it, but loses control and flies straight into a cactus-filled ravine. Doc chuckles. "Guess you're not much good at racing or paving." Mater tows McQueen out, laughing. "Doc knew you'd crash before you did." The next morning, McQueen is back at it, working hard this time, no shortcuts. He starts realizing how little he actually knows. He couldn't even take a simple turn properly. He works all night long, and by sunrise, half the road is perfectly done. When the townsfolk see the smooth, shiny road, they're amazed and happy for the first time in years. Even Doc is quietly impressed, but McQueen isn't there to see it. He's out in the dirt field again, trying to master that tricky turn, but no matter how hard he tries, he keeps spinning out. Doc drives up and tells Sheriff, "I'll take it from here." Then he rolls up beside McQueen. "This ain't a paved track, son," he says calmly. "It's dirt. Can't grip it the same way. When you feel yourself sliding, don't fight it. Turn right to go left." McQueen frowns. "So now you're my racing coach?" He laughs it off and drives away. But later, when he tries again, he remembers Doc's words. Turn right to go left. He tries it and still spins out into the dirt. Defeated, he goes back to work on the road again. That night, Sheriff assigns Mater to keep watch on McQueen. Sally, impressed by his effort, gets him cleaned up at Red's car wash and offers him a cozy place to stay, the Cozy Cone Motel. "You've done a great job on that road," she says warmly. McQueen grins. "Oh, you starting to like me now?" Sally smiles and drives away. Moments later, Mater rolls up. "Hey buddy, since I'm your night guard, what do you say we have a little fun?" McQueen sighs. "I need to finish that road and get out of here." Mater chuckles. "Aw, come on. You ain't got what it takes for real fun anyway." McQueen smirks. "Oh yeah? I'm Lightning McQueen. I can do anything." Mater grins mischievously. "Then follow me." They drive into the open fields, where a bunch of sleeping tractors rest peacefully under the stars. Mater honks his horn loudly, and the tractor flips backward with a loud moo. Mater bursts into laughter, having the time of his life. Mater tells Lightning to give it a try too, but Lightning doesn't have a horn. So instead, he revs up his engine and speeds through the field, flipping every tractor in sight. Both of them burst out laughing, having the time of their lives. But suddenly, the ground starts to shake. It's Frank, the terrifying harvester. Mater and Lightning freak out and race away as fast as they can, barely escaping the field. Back in Radiator Springs, Mater proudly shows off his reverse driving skills. Lightning's amazed. "How did you even do that?" Mater chuckles. "It's all in the side mirrors, buddy. I can even can teach you if you want. Lightning grins. You know what? That might actually help me in the big race. Mater tilts his head and asks softly, why do you always talk about that race? What's so special about it anyway? Lightning sighs. It's not just a race, it's my dream. When I win the Piston Cup, I'll have sponsors, fame, maybe even my own helicopters. Mater smiles and says with childlike hope, you know, I always dreamed of riding in a helicopter someday. Think you could make that happen for me? Lightning laughs. Of course, pal. I'll make sure you get that ride. Mater beams. I knew it. You're my best friend. Later, Lightning heads back to Sally's motel and gets room number 1. He thanks Sally for everything and finally drifts off to sleep. But even in his dreams, Frank's terrifying roar haunts him. The next morning, Lightning goes to the sheriff to get his daily fuel quota. But Doc is there, treating the sheriff, and tells Lightning to wait at the gas station. Frustrated, Lightning kicks a nearby oil can with his tire. It rolls right into Doc's garage. There's a loud crash. Lightning peeks inside and freezes. There, covered in dust, lie 3 Piston Cups. That's when it hits him. Doc is the legendary Hudson Hornet, the 3-time Piston Cup champion of a single season. Lightning can't believe it. Just then, Doc walks in and angrily throws him out, but Lightning can't hold it in. You're the Hudson Hornet! I can't believe it! You gotta teach me everything you know. Doc sighs deeply. I've already tried once, Lightning insists. But you won 3 cups, Doc replies quietly. They're just empty trophies to me now. Lightning later rushes to Flo's V8 cafe to tell everyone what he just discovered, but no one believes him. Then Sally shows up, fills Lightning's tank, and smiles. Come on, let's go for a drive, the sheriff warns. Don't do it. He might run off, but Sally just smiles. I trust him. They drive off together, through the open desert, past glowing cliffs and quiet valleys. The air feels peaceful, beautiful. They stop at a place called Wheel Well, once a famous spot for travelers. Lightning asks, what's a car like you doing out here? Sally smiles faintly. I used to be a lawyer, had everything, except peace. One day I just left it all behind. My axle broke down here, and Doc fixed me up. The folks here took me in. I guess I just stayed. Lightning asks, don't you ever want to leave? Sally shakes her head. No, I fell in love with this place. She tells him how Radiator Springs used to be full of life. 40 years ago, people used to drive through here, fall in love with the road itself. But then the new highway came, and everyone just passed us by. Lightning looks around thoughtfully. Man, I wish I could have seen it the way it used to be. Sally smiles. I've dreamed of that too, and maybe one day we'll bring it back. After the drive, Lightning thanks Sally for the ride, but just then, chaos breaks out in Radiator Springs. All the tractors they tipped over last night have come back, for payback. Everyone rushes out to chase them off, and Lightning joins in to help. While doing so, he spots Doc out on the dirt track, wearing his old racing tires. Doc starts driving, fast. He glides through the turns with flawless control, drifting perfectly through the dirt. Lightning can't believe what he's seeing. When Doc finishes, Lightning drives up to him, amazed, but Doc silently heads back to his garage. Lightning follows. Doc, that was incredible. Doc doesn't reply, but Lightning presses on. Why'd you quit racing when you were at the top of your game? Doc finally speaks, his voice heavy with memory. Back in '54, I had a bad crash. When I got better, I thought they'd welcome me back, but all they said was, you're old news. They signed some rookie right in front of me. I still had plenty of race left in me, but they never gave me another shot. So, I came here. Quiet place. No fame, no pressure. He pauses, then adds softly, when you showed up, you reminded me of everything I left behind. Lightning says quietly, I'm not like them. Doc looks him dead in the eye and asks, then tell me something, kid. When was the last time you thought about someone other than yourself? Lightning has no answer. For the first time, he's speechless. Doc turns away. Then maybe you're exactly like them. The next morning, everyone wakes up and gasps. The road is finally complete, but Lightning is gone. Their faces fall. They think he's left for good, but suddenly they see him, still there. He stayed. Everyone cheers. Now Lightning wants to give back. He asks each of them for their services. He finally gets it. Life isn't just about you, it's about others. Together, the whole town gives Lightning a brand new look. Shiny, polished, and bold. He even fixes all the neon lights around Radiator Springs. When the lights flicker on that night, Sally's eyes light up too. Lightning just made her dream come true. The town is alive again, glowing, laughing, dancing, and everyone can tell. Lightning and Sally have fallen for each other. But just as everything feels perfect, a crowd of cars storms in. Reporters. They're not customers. They're the press, here to find Lightning McQueen. Mac, his big truck, pulls in too, thrilled to see him again. Lightning's phone rings. It's his agent, Harv. Kid, you're everywhere. The media's going nuts for you. But Lightning doesn't sound excited anymore. I'm in Radiator Springs, Harv. This town's alive again. Harv doesn't even listen. Forget that, kid. Dynaco just signed Chick Hicks. You gotta get to California now. Lightning looks at Sally. I need to go. I have to win this race. Sally smiles sadly. Thanks for fixing our road. Mac sighs. If you don't get in, your agent's gonna fire me. So with a heavy heart, Lightning drives up the ramp and leaves. Moments later, the reporters thank Doc because he's the one who told them where Lightning was. Sally overhears, and her heart breaks. Even Mater looks at Doc and says softly, "I just wanted to say goodbye to my best friend." Everyone is silent. Doc watches the empty road, and for the first time in years, he feels regret. The next day, California. The International Speedway is packed for a historic tiebreaker race. For the first time ever, 3 racers are tied for the Piston Cup. Lightning tries to psych himself up, but his mind keeps drifting back to Sally, to Doc, to Radiator Springs. The race begins. Engines roar. The crowd goes wild, but Lightning's not focused. His heart's somewhere else. Then suddenly, he looks to the pit crew and sees them, his friends from Radiator Springs, and leading them, Doc Hudson wearing his headset, now standing proudly as Lightning's crew chief. Lightning smiles. For the first time, he's not racing alone. Doc looks at McQueen and says, "I knew you'd need a crew chief someday." Then, to boost his confidence, he adds, "If you can build a great road, kid, you can sure as heck win this race." That's all Lightning needs to hear. Fueled with energy, he hits the track. Fast, focused, determined. Doc guides him through the radio. "Come on, rookie, cover those laps. Quick." Soon the crowd realizes it's the legendary Hudson Hornet. Everyone goes wild with excitement. McQueen is flying around the track, closing the gap, but he's still one full lap behind the King and Chick. Thanks to Doc's motivation, he keeps pushing harder and harder until he finally catches up with Chick. But Chick, being Chick, bumps into Lightning, trying to knock him off track. McQueen, remembering Mater's tricks, switches into reverse driving, and the crowd goes crazy. He zooms past Chick, driving backward with total control. Chick loses his cool and blows out Lightning's tire. Doc quickly radios in. "Yellow flag's out. Don't panic. Get to the pit now." Guido's ready. As soon as McQueen pulls in, Guido performs the fastest pit stop anyone's ever seen. In seconds, Lightning's back on track, shocking everyone in the stands. Only 1 lap left now. McQueen pushes harder than ever and gets right behind Chick, but Chick's desperate to win. He slams into Lightning again. This time, Lightning remembers Doc's training and masterfully drifts out of danger, pulling ahead. Meanwhile, the King refuses to let Chick pass him. That's when Chick loses it and rams into the King, sending him flying into a terrifying crash. Lightning watches in shock, and suddenly, he sees Doc in that wreck, the same way Doc was left behind years ago. McQueen hits the brakes. He stops just before the finish line. Chick speeds by and wins the race, but nobody's cheering. Lightning turns around and drives toward the King. He gently pushes him across the finish line and says, "You deserve to finish your last race." The King looks at him surprised. "You just gave up the Piston Cup. Why'd you do that?" Lightning smiles and says, "A wise old car once told me, it's just an empty cup." The crowd goes silent and then erupts into applause. Everyone's moved. Chick, on the other hand, gets booed and pelted with tires for his dirty play. The King and his wife thank Lightning, and everyone agrees. The real winner today is Lightning McQueen. Doc smiles proudly and says, "There's definitely something special about you, kid." Then comes Tex, the owner of Dinoco. He offers McQueen a chance to join his team as their new star, but Lightning shakes his head. "Thanks, Tex, but I'm sticking with my friends." Tex nods, impressed. "Son, I respect that, but if there's ever anything I can do for you, just say the word." Lightning grins. "Well, there is one thing. Could you give my buddy Mater a helicopter ride?" Moments later, Mater's soaring through the sky, laughing like a kid. Back in Radiator Springs, things change. Tourists start rolling in again. The town is alive, and everyone's smiling, all thanks to Lightning McQueen. If you loved this story, hit that subscribe button because there's so much more adventure, heart, and fun waiting just around the corner. Join us and let's keep racing together.